fixing my... I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them cleavage. People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sex sells, babe.
Sex sells.
Erika Kirk was having an affair, which is why Charlie Kirk took her out of the will. So allegedly, the story is that Erika Kirk was having an affair. Charlie hired a private investigator to kind of follow her and see what was going on. And then he took her out of the will.
There is an image that the Kirk family sold to millions. Faith, family, traditional values, a marriage built on God and purpose, presented as the model of conservative womanhood. However, according to a growing pile of allegations, it seems that that image was a lie. So get this, multiple sources are now alleging that Erika Kirk was cheating on Charlie, not with strangers, but with men inside Turning Point USA, the same organization that Charlie built with his own hands. And according to Candace Owens, Charlie found out. And in the final days of his life, he stopped wearing his wedding ring. He stopped sleeping in the same bed. He even moved into his daughter's room, a detail so intimate and so devastating that it carries the weight of a marriage already over. Now look at Erika's behavior these past 5 months. She has not grieving. If anything, many say she's been celebrating. She's been having back-to-back interviews in full makeup, calling Charlie's memorial the event of the century, and bragging about how much money Turning Point made after he died. And if the allegations are true, if Erika was truly cheating on Charlie and he knew, then their marriage was already over before he took his last breath, and that changes everything. It means Erika's grief was never really grief. It was a performance. And the audience, that was us. So tonight, join me as we examine all the evidence, the texts and timeline. As we ask the question Charlie may have asked in his final days, who was the woman sleeping next to him, and how long had she been lying to him?
Just this morning, Candace Owens released irrefutable evidence and documentation that Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk filed for a disillusionment of marriage 2 days before his assassination.
Noisy is actually our brand. Like, we take pride in not minding our own business. That's who we are.
It's officially none of your damn business, ma'am.
Let me just shut up for a little bit. But no, that's not how things work in America. They don't understand.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Like, we don't know our forks from our knives.
I'm not going to sit and judge how anyone interpreted anything outside of myself. So pray for her. I pray for her family. And let the Lord handle the rest.
Like, we take pride in not minding our own business. That's who we are. Like, we don't know our forks from our knives. We're not going away.
What is she saying?
Now, to understand how we got here to a place where Erika Kirk's carefully constructed image now lies in ruins, you have to go back to the beginning, not of her marriage, but of the cheating suspicions. You see, according to multiple reports, Charlie didn't discover the infidelity by accident. He hired someone to find it. Rumor has it that a private investigator was tasked with following Erika, watching her movements and documenting her days. Now, this is definitely not the act of a trusting husband. This is the act of a man who already knew, or at least suspected, that something was deeply wrong. And if Charlie suspected enough to hire an investigator, he suspected enough to act. Sources say that after the investigation, Charlie allegedly removed Erika from his will, a decision that speaks louder than any argument or any confrontation. Now, Candace Owens jumped onto this story and added a detail that, if true, paints the final picture of a marriage already over. According to Candace, Charlie had stopped wearing his wedding ring in the days leading up to his tragic end, and he also stopped sleeping in their marital bed, and he moved into his daughter's room.
What was Charlie Kirk married to?
Everyone loved Charlie. Yeah. I get that. Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Yeah.
The truth is very clear.
Every single interview she does, I just feel more and more like heaviness in my soul, because now I'm like, what is it that Charlie found out? What is it? What was so evil and diabolical that they had to take him out because they knew that he would tell the world?
Now, think about that. A man in the final days of his life chose to sleep in a child's bedroom rather than beside the woman he married. That is not marital discord. That is separation. And yet, the public image Erika cultivated could not have been more different. She presented herself as the trad wife, the conservative ideal, a woman who found purpose in faith and family, who married at 34 after years of dating, who embodied the values TPUSA built its brand on. men. But insiders whisper a different story. They describe a woman with multiple degrees, running multiple businesses, who spent years building a career before she ever met Charlie. A woman who knew exactly what she was doing when she aligned herself with the most powerful conservative movement in America. The image she sold was not false because she was ambitious. It was false because she presented ambition as submission. She presented a carefully crafted career as a love story written by God. And now, with the allegations of infidelity, with a private investigator, with the removed will and the empty bed, that image is crumbling. Now, Erika Kirk has built her public identity on a single, simple claim that before Charlie, there was no one. For 5 years, she did not date. A blank romantic slate, waiting for the man God had chosen. But the evidence tells a different story.
So Erika Kirk actually had 2 boyfriends within the 5 years before meeting Charlie Kirk. So why lie about this? Before we talk about the 2 boyfriends, let's watch this clip where Erika Kirk is lying to us.
I lived out here. I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going, I don't drink.
Erika's exes in the time she claimed she wasn't dating include Cabot Phillips, JT Massey, Joe Anglam, a former Survivor contestant, Josh Harrelson, a basketball player. All these are men Erika dated openly before she ever met Charlie. And these men who contradict in full color her claim of 5 years of romantic silence. However, Erika's dating life before marriage, while contradictory, is not the most serious part of this story. The most serious part involves what allegedly happened after the wedding. TPUSA insiders, some of whom were reportedly fired for asking questions, claim that Erika continued to date multiple men even after marrying Charlie. Men inside Charlie's organization, men who worked for Charlie, men who smiled at him in meetings while, according to allegations, sleeping with his wife. They literally betrayed him. Now, one name in particular stands out: Cabot Phillips.
So apparently Cabot Phillips is Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend. And he now is doing TPUSA How to Lead Like Charlie conferences, like at universities. Interesting. And no, they weren't just friends, they were a couple. He literally captioned this September of 2017. Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together. And ironically enough, September of 2017, he also was hanging out with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk had posted this with Cabot Phillips. Yes, I beat Cabot one-on-one, not sick of winning. September 24th, 2017. And in November of 2017, she wrote to Cabot, since this is where it all started, I only found it appropriate to wish you a very happy birthday, Cash Cab, your catfish. And there's a lot of comments about them like being a couple.
Cabot and Erika reportedly dated as early as late 2017. Photographs show them together, comfortable, clearly a couple. By September 2020, Cabot was married to someone else, Emma Meschel, but the connection to Erika didn't end. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Cabot was also friends with Charlie. He trusted him. He worked with him. And after Charlie's death, Erika made a choice that raised eyebrows across TPUSA. She selected Cabot to replace Charlie on college tours, the man she dated years ago, the man who was friends with her husband. The man is now stepping into her husband's shoes.
So Erika Kirk's ex is what? Taking over for Charlie Kirk? I'm sorry, are we supposed to pretend that this is normal? Because this is very odd.
But Cabot is not the only name circulating in TPUSA whispers. We also have Jack Posobiec, a TPUSA correspondent, Brandon Schubert, strategic director for TPUSA's high school program, Nathan Neugebauer, advisory council member. These men, sources say, fit Erika's dating profile far more than Charlie ever did. Younger, more aligned with her world, men who moved through the same circles, attended the same events, breathed the same air. If even half of these allegations are true, then Turning Point USA was not just Charlie Kirk's organization. It was Erika's hunting ground, a network of men she could move among, invisible, protected by the very movement that preached family values. The photographs exist, the timeline exists, the witnesses exist. What remains is the question Charlie may have asked in his final days. How many of the men he trusted were actually trusted trusted by his wife in ways he never imagined. The allegations of infidelity are devastating, but they are only one layer of a much deeper story. Because while Charlie may have suspected his wife was unfaithful, there is evidence he also suspected something else, that she was taking his organization from him. Insiders describe a pattern of behavior that began long before Charlie's death. Erika, they say, started exerting control over Turning Point USA while Charlie was still alive, not as CEO, but in ways that made people uncomfortable. She pulled people from their posts, no clear reasons, she just removed them. She replaced staff with unknown individuals, people whom no one had vetted. She requested unnecessary background checks on employees. She accessed attendee lists that had nothing to do with her role. These are not the actions of a supportive spouse. These are the actions of someone building power, quietly, methodically, while Charlie was still the face of the organization. When Charlie tried to confront her about these moves, sources say she dismissed him, brushed him off, effectively sidelined him within the very organization he built. Imagine that, a founder, watching his wife take control of his life's work, powerless to stop it. Now, add another layer. Former Special Forces operative Mitch Snow has made a claim that, if true, changes everything. Snow alleges that both Erika Kirk and Cabot Phillips, the same Cat Phillips she allegedly dated, the same Cabot Phillips she put on Charlie's tours, attended a secret military meeting at Fort Huaca. The meeting took place the day before Charlie was assassinated. Think about the timing, a secret military meeting. Two women with deep ties to each other. One of them is the wife of a man who would be dead within 24 hours. This is not speculation about affairs. This is not gossip about who dated whom. This is a timeline that raises questions no one has been able to answer. And then there is what happened the night before. Charlie removed his wedding ring. He didn't just take it off, he left it off. He slept in his daughter's room, not beside his wife. A man who knows he's being betrayed, a man who may have suspected his wife was involved in something far darker than infidelity. A man who, in his final hours, chose to be anywhere but next to her. And so we arrive where all such stories arrive, at the space between the image we were shown and the reality the evidence suggests. If even half of these allegations are true, then the woman standing at Charlie Kirk's memorial was not a grieving widow. She was something else entirely. A woman who may have been unfaithful with multiple men inside her husband's own organization. A woman who quietly seized control of that organization before his death. A woman who attended a secret military meeting the day before he was killed. A woman whose husband, in his final hours, chose to sleep anywhere but beside her. Erika Kirk built her public identity on faith, on family, on traditional values. She presented herself as the ideal conservative woman, a wife who found purpose in her husband's mission, who stood beside him, who embodied the very principles TPUSA was built to promote. But insiders describe something else. A woman with multiple degrees, running multiple businesses, who spent years building a career before she ever met Charlie. A woman who knew exactly what she was doing when she aligned herself with the most powerful conservative movement in America. The image she sold was not false because she was ambitious. It was false because she presented ambition as submission. She presented a carefully crafted career as a love story written by God. And now, with the allegations of infidelity, with the private investigator, with the removed will and the empty bed, that image is crumbling. The question is no longer whether Erika Kirk was faithful. The question is how much of what we believe was ever real and who knew the truth all along. The TPUSA community is left in turmoil. Donors are questioning. Staff are whispering. The organization Charlie built with his own hands is now led by a woman whose image may have been a performance from the very beginning. Charlie requested an audit before he died. He may have suspected something. He may have known something. We will never know what he found or what he feared finding. But the audit, in a sense, is still ongoing. Not by accountants, but by the public. By the viewers who noticed the missing wedding photo. By the followers who remembered the dating history. By the donors who wonder where their money went. The allegations are unproven, yet the questions remain unanswered. But the scrutiny will not stop. Not because the public is cruel, but because the public was asked to believe. And when belief is betrayed, the reckoning is rarely kind. What do you believe? Is this a targeted takedown of a political figure, or the slow, inevitable exposure of a life built on concealment? The comments are yours. Let me know what you think. Till next time, bye.